Welcome to Immediate Review, where we can't see movies in theaters, but we still review them wherever we are. We just saw Zack Snyder's Justice League.
No, we didn't, dude.
We totally did.
No, we just saw this is what they call Justice League.
What?
It's Joss Whedon did most of this movie.
It said at the beginning of the movie, a Zack Snyder film.
No,
I know you're fucking with
I know
me.
it said that at the beginning, but there's this thing called the Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut?
Heard of it?
That's the thing, like, everybody's been talking about online, right?
Yes. Yeah, that thing.
Okay. What's that?
All right, so we just watched Justice League 2017, aka Justice League, and
we figured with the announcement of the Snyder Cut, we check it out.
Review it.
Odds are we'll review it again later, but we'll get to
when the Snyder Cut drops. We're gonna review that, and then afterwards we're gonna take a look back at this film once we can directly compare them. Which will be in like a year, but whatever. So yeah, spoiler alert, we don't hate this movie. We don't love it either, but we dig it.
Yeah, I think this watch through highlighted a lot more.
It's super flawed.
Yeah, because like I people might think it's weird, but I watch this movie around every year around Mother's Day. Because of the mother cubes. I don't know why. I just feel like it's a good Mother's Day movie.
Where's my mother box?
Yeah, dude. It's like, I don't know.
That's the thing. This review is not trying to convince anyone that this movie's good or that you should like it or anything like that. Like there's a lot of problems with this movie, but I don't know. I just I have fun. It's short. We'll get more into it. I definitely don't hate it either. There are some. I think that as I've learned more about what happened during the Justice League, I think it gives me more of an understanding of why I like and don't like certain things about it. Like, there are some scenes that are just like, oh man, like this is super cool, or this is shot like super well, or oh man, that's some cool slow-mo, and stuff like that. And then there's other scenes that they have a different tone, and it feels different. And yeah, so getting the information that of what happened, and that there was a director change, and that there was a bunch of reshoots and things like that. We actually just watched the original trailer for Justice League, and a number of the shots that were in it weren't even in the movie. They were completely 80% of the trailer.
Is not even, and even the shots that look similar were reshot.
Oh yeah, everybody knows.
And yeah, so I didn't.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I do have fun with this movie. It's I feel like it's well shot, and the action is decent, like especially the scene where the Amazonians are like pulling the mother cube along and trying to get it away from Steppenwolf, and he's like able to jump like 40 football fields with like a single bound, and bound. Just like the scene is just like I feel structured really well and well paced, and you just it's just these badass chicks like doing everything they can to just stay away from this like kind of weird like rapey guy, like because he is rapey in this. He's like, oh, you will love me, you'll all love me, and it's like that's
I didn't get that, but
he's rapey, dude.
I can see that context though. Yeah,
he's totally like that. And he's like the wording that he says, he's not like, yes, my axe is still stained with the blood of your sisters. He's like, my axe is still slick with the blood of you. Like
I guess he does have a next level creep.
Yeah, it's like he's like a little bit of like sexual like connotation to like what he's saying.
Yeah, like when
when Diana's mom, I can't remember her name, but she takes the box away from him. He's like, yes, run.
Yeah, it's like he's like thrills on the chase and running around with a Stark boner on Themyscira.
Yeah, so yeah, what else? That your general? Or?
Yeah, that's been basic for general thoughts. It's yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, when this movie first came out, I heard that it was a strict 2 hours, and I was like, oh no. And we all knew about the reshoots. We all knew about the the CGI mouth. We all knew about everything that had happened leading up to it. And I checked that morning, and it was like a 13 or a 23 on Rotten Tomatoes or something. And I was like, holy shit, this is gonna be horrendous. And it started in that cell phone scene. I really hate it a lot. I think it's got good intentions, but it's so bad. Just the cold open cell phone, like in theaters, I was like, oh, this is horrible. It's gonna be as bad as they say.
Yeah.
But man, that intro credit sequence, I love that whole opening credit sequence, and you can tell that's Zack Snyder. Like, it's very similar to like Watchmen, how it opens, and all his other slow-mo. If it's not Zack Snyder, I will honestly be really surprised, because he always has like thought-provoking, crazy, like, I don't know, stylistic opening credit sequences with lots of slow-mo, and yeah. And after that, it just put me in a better mood, and like, I just had fun with it. I don't know. I think it balances the characters fairly well. Like, considering all the drama, I'm just surprised it's not worse. I really am. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of movies that I genuinely feel like I don't want to rewatch. Like, and this isn't one of them. Like I said, it's like an annual movie for me. I watch it. Like, but yeah, and it's got some laughable moments. There are some moments that feel like too jokey.
Oh yeah, the Joss Whedon moments, all of them.
Yeah, it's like when they finish the fight and they're like they pull the cubes apart. Like, they cut to every single person and they all get like a little quip.
So yeah, I figured we could go down the list of each character and just talk about them.
Let's do it.
So let's start with Diana, Wonder Woman. What do you think about just the like,
okay,
in general, the character and how it functions within the movie?
So I think that she's honestly, like, she does take a leadership role, and we kind of see her step out of her, like, like we have the line, like, you hid away for a century, so don't blah about me. And we
she
get
gets
her
challenged with some stuff.
Yeah, and she has to step up and be like, all right, let's do it, but on my lead. Like, she takes the leadership role, because she is a badass, and is honestly, in terms of like a frontline fighter, way more capable than Batman is.
And even though she hasn't gotten involved in much shit, she still gained so much experience throughout just growing with the world.
Mm-hmm. But I think that her character, like, I feel like a lot of her was cut out or is missing, because there's just they like, and I think this is prevalent with all of the characters.
Yeah, you
honestly.
can really
like,
apply that to
at the beginning. Like, they really rush the character introductions, and like that we even pointed out in the trailer, there was a shot of Cyborg, like, in his football costume, like before his football his football costume, yeah. Fucking, like while he's getting, like, tackling somebody or being tackled, and it's like we don't get any of that. It's like all of that is completely cut out, and he's already pronounced dead essentially by the time that we get introduced. And so a lot of it is kind of a rushed backstory. Like, I think it's prevalent for everybody.
It's Aquaman. Like shorthand, it's like, this is his dad, somebody thinks he's dead, he's not dead, there you go.
Yeah. And like with Aquaman, it's like, he goes there and it's like, a basic exposition dump to the villagers and whatnot. And so all of the character introductions, I feel like honestly,
we're on Wonder Woman though.
Well, I know, but
okay.
like at
I think that each of the characters should have had a more like an introduction movie, basically. Like, I feel like Wonder Woman's the only one that's acceptable in the movie to have less of an introduction, because she had an entire movie to preface, plus her cameo in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
So
it's a role. She's throughout the movie and then shows up in the third act to...
but that's what I mean, though. It's like she has these other movies.
You said cameo, though. It's not a cameo.
Okay, whatever. But you know, like I'm trying to stay on track here. But yeah, she's, you know, she has these other movies she's been in to establish her story, and so having her story being less prevalent in the beginning is acceptable, where the other characters, I don't feel like it is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like that they kind of show the pros and cons of her hiding away, but at the same time, you know, we see a great scene where she saves all these kids at a museum from a bomb. I also love when she has the lasso around the guy and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "We're a small group of reactionary terrorists." Who answers like that? Yes, it's really honest.
That's his truth, man. He really wanted to tell somebody that they were just reactionary terrorists.
But it's this great scene that kind of implies that she hasn't been settling down, and so does Wonder Woman 1984, and I think Batman v Superman fucked up by saying that Wonder Woman hasn't been doing anything for 100 years. Well, and they're doing an okay job at acknowledging it.
Well, I mean, at that point, she's already come out. Like, you know, she's had the Batman versus Superman moment, and so
it's true. But nobody recognizes her.
I mean, nobody recognizes Superman when he puts glasses on too. It's like DC understands that people are idiots.
No, but it really is very egregious for Wonder Woman.
Because everybody comments on how she's just a fucking bombshell. It's like, you know, and she is. Come on. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's where that is, because she essentially was disappeared from, you know, the end of 1917 until, you know, now, when Batman v Superman happens. She comes out, she fights fucking, I can't remember what the villains, the villain's name was in Batman.
Oh, Doomsday.
Superman. Doomsday, yeah. So they fight him, and then she's like, okay.
But she also fights Cheetah in 1984. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's muddied.
We don't know that yet, though. But yeah. So, and yeah, that may be, you know, a different context, you know, as well. They may present it well. But.
Wonder Woman kicks ass. I loved the build up, and I was honestly satisfied overall. But I think there are better ways to handle it. All right, Flash.
Yeah, again, I think that his introduction was like, Flash is like one of my favorite characters. His backstory is like so incredibly good. It's got the daddy issues and like everything that you need to like tug at my heartstrings and whatnot. So like the fact that like all we get is like him, you know, having a little talk with his dad, and his dad basically being like, "I don't want to see you anymore."
Yeah, we don't even know what he's in jail for.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everything has to be like planted into what you know about Barry Allen rather than you know, any information, and it ends up being, because we have to introduce 5 characters, so it's like just like
that's why Zack Snyder's is 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like, honestly, I'm excited for that. Like it needs more time to build these characters up and make you understand what their motivation is, rather than like, world is at stake, must defend.
I think Cyborg is the closest, honestly. I think they do. We'll get to that later. The Flash.
Yeah. So the Flash. Yeah, he's, you know, his dad's in jail for killing his mom, but his mom wasn't killed by his dad. He was killed by another speedster, and Flash has spent his life trying to like...
Oh, I think there was a line that briefly mentioned that, actually. Batman might have said it, but yeah.
But yeah, so that's what happens. Like the movie Flashpoint, I'm pretty sure, goes into that, him confronting that and fucking up the timeline. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, he's
pretty well. I love the actor who plays him, Ezra Miller. I've heard rumors he may not come back as Flash.
I mean, it's everything is
it's all up in the air. But like I do really like him as the Flash. I feel like he's done a good job. I do like the guy that plays the Flash on the CW show too. But I think that Ezra Miller is better, honestly.
See, and people are gonna hate us for that because I agree, but. Watching the Flash show, I get it, and the reason people think he's better is because he's better written.
Oh yeah,
in the Flash TV show.
Oh yeah,
he's way better written in the Flash TV show. But the actor himself, you could replace with fucking anybody. The actor, I legitimately, side tangent, brings nothing unique to the role of Flash on the TV show.
I mean, he's a skinny white guy.
It's okay. There's a million. Get him. Like I don't know. It's I don't know. But Ezra Miller has a personality. And just a better personality, but he's not as well written.
not in this.
And so I totally get why if people are like, fuck that, this is my Flash, but like Ezra Miller has major potential.
Yeah. And man, if he like goes the Fantastic Beasts route instead of sticking to instead of keeping as the Flash, man, it's like him being Flash was like 60% of the reason I was stoked for Flashpoint, and it's like if he drops out, and yeah, his legacy continues on as like he chose to like the Fantastic Beasts saga. It's like I get it, but like come on.
So I think the movie does a pretty good job with a lot of shorthand stuff. Like we know that he's still learning. He's not fully in control of his powers and like an ultimate badass. I like that he's tripping a lot. He's got a certain, lack of confidence, and he's inexperienced. Like, he's got that different dynamic for the team.
Yeah, and he doesn't even start working as a forensic scientist until the very end of the movie. That's the paperwork he shows his dad. He got a job.
And so I think they took it easy with him, and I like that they didn't just drop us into like ultimate experience Flash, and he's been doing this shit forever. Like, I like that we are seeing Flash at just the very beginning.
Yeah, and that's how he is, I believe, when they start up, is like he's kind of just like done little bits with his abilities, and I honestly think even in this one, the fact that he has this like crazy suit and whatnot doesn't even really make sense to the fact like how I don't know how he's getting money to like get this thing, or how he has the building with everything.
He's robbing banks too, I guess.
Yeah, or something along those lines. Maybe Batman comments on that when he visits him, but I don't recall. But yeah.
So up next, Batman. I have in my notes. I don't not like you.
I like the look on Batman's face when Superman shows up.
Dude, honestly, I fucking love that. Like, I understand, like, hardcore comic book nerds who just, like, that makes them mad. But, man, I laugh and have a good time. It's so silly and stupid, but I just love the look of joy on his face. He's like, Superman shows up. It's fucking ridiculous. But so
yeah, Superman kind of shows up and solves all the problems. But yeah, so Batman, I mean, honestly, he's center stage like the whole movie. Like, it's all about him, his plan to get everybody together. He's got to rally everybody, and yeah, I feel like
you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. I'm in. But yeah, I think that he's done honestly pretty well. I like him throughout the beginning a little more. The first scene with him where he's like, trying to scare somebody so he can attract the bug that's below, like when he could just when he could just like go down and like confront the parademon that's like in the it's like he doesn't have to. I know that he's Batman. He was probably just like, oh,
it's movie bullshit.
A criminal over there robbing something. I'll use him to lure the parademon or something. But yeah, it was just like, I don't think that was his original plan of like, I gotta wait until a criminal comes by, and that's when I'll get to jump on that parademon down there. But yeah, so that's really the scene with him. Plus, I love the Alfred, I did the Nightcrawler.
And then he's fighting the parademon, and the parademon's one-upping him. And then he's like, Alfred, I need this slow-moving spider vehicle.
And yeah, it's like it starts crawling up and the fight continues and it eventually gets there. And he's like, my turn. And yeah, the Ben Affleck's Batman, he uses guns more than like, you know, I don't have a sword. Like it's almost like Batman. Like if you guys haven't seen College Humor's Batman and the Penguin, where he's like, this is a gun. When people fight me, they get exhausted and then they go to sleep.
But yeah.
And so yeah, I think that this Batman's done well and also hilarious, like at the same time.
I agree, man. There, like this scene when he like confronts Wonder Woman is pretty good, and there are a couple scenes where he's confronting himself, and he's like, "What did I do? I was an idiot in the last movie," and yeah,
And other times he's like, I heard you talk to fish. Hey, could you send an APB to the fish so that you know you can talk to fish, right?
Yeah. Oh fuck. I love another hilarious moment is when they awaken Superman and he flies off, and you know, Aquaman, the Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, they all follow him, and Batman's nowhere. And then after the entire sequence, Batman's like huffing and puffing along.
He's alive. Thank God.
So yeah, Batman's kind of dopey, but he's got some cool moments. I'm sure he'll be way cooler in the Snyder Cut. So any other comments on Batman? You good?
9.
Alright, Aquaman.
I love Aquaman. The movie Aquaman is fucking excellent. Love it. We were trying to figure out though, does this movie take place before or after Aquaman?
It's confusing. People still debate it. Actually,
I personally think Justice League is a before.
I assumed
Aquaman.
that,
but yeah, because like there's a whole thing, and the line that doesn't make sense to me is the one chick is like, yeah, you know, the Mother Cube was taken by Steppenwolf, and you're the son, you're the heir of the princess, so
and like everybody knows, and it's obvious.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's your job to go do it. But in Aquaman, it's like there's another son who's already the leader of everything, and why wouldn't it be his responsibility to get the cube back?
It's not clear at all. It's I just there wasn't a lot of communication between the films, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's clearer in the Justice League movie,
or maybe that person communicated with Snyder, but the version that was released was Josh Whedon's.
Well, that's a good possibility.
And it's like all the stuff that does connect the movies correctly is in the Snyder Cut.
We'll find out. Yeah, Aquaman gets a short stick, but I remember seeing this movie before Aquaman. I thought it was a nice teaser. Yeah, they do a good job of just establishing that he's a fun guy. He drinks a lot. He's the wild card. You know, he looks out for himself, but you know, eventually he'll come around to it and fucking save the day. But there's a huge lapse where, like, when he's talking to Mira, he's like, "Forget you. I'm not into this hero stuff. I ain't gonna lead. I'm not doing this." And then he shows up and saves, you know, Wonder Woman and Batman and the Flash randomly, and has his full suit on
as the water comes through. Like there's definitely something missing there from that scene.
Because he doesn't have his suit in Aquaman until, like...
Well, it's not the same suit. It's like
but he doesn't have his suit until much later in the movie. He, like, upgrades and gets it.
Yeah, but he's not wearing the golden suit.
But if Justice League takes place before Aquaman, then he would have a suit and would be more used to, like, going into the depths. And it's like being an Aquaman in his badass suit.
I mean, I don't.
That's why it's so confusing.
But yeah, so I think that he's like involved in that fight, and he's like a bit outside or something, like in the ocean and whatnot, and like he's getting the cube and whatnot, and like instead like the explosion happens, and that's what he like figures out where they are, and he's the one that punches the water through to put out the fire and to you know, like get in there, and then he sees, and then, you know, gets in front of the water and prevents it from like flooding onto the team. But yeah, it like doesn't make sense like how he would know where they were or what was going on, or that he just shows up and whatnot. And yeah, he has his
that's the thing, it seemed like he was just casually going to visit, and then in Aquaman she's like, welcome to the undersea world, and he's like, whoa, it's crazy.
Yeah, but he also has his mom's trident in this one, and that gets broken in Aquaman.
Oh my god, it's such a mess. Okay, Cyborg.
So yeah, he in the old Teen Titans show, he was like my favorite character. Like I was all about the booyahs and whatnot.
I never watched it.
And he is dark and like broody and DC in this one, wherein like I'm used to him being like, you know,
super
like an upbeat like teenager, you know, who doesn't let the fact that he's like views the cyborg in him as like, you know, an extension of himself and not a burden. In this one, they tried to like,
we see that arc happen.
Yeah, so that arc starts, and he kind of has to get through his body metamorphosizing into his final form until he can, you know, learn to control it. And we see at the end he has the ability to control the nanite, you know, or however his body is shaped or whatever.
It's nanotech.
It's nanotech, all right? We're getting into fucking, you know, Stark technology. But yeah, I think that he's done well. I do think that more of a dynamic with him and his father beforehand, and seeing the contrast of his behavior from him being a, you know, an upbeat kid to becoming this dark, broody person that thinks that this robot inside of him is going to take over.
There are shots of him in his Letterman's jacket just walking casually in the trailer.
So I'd like to see that.
Can't wait to see it.
And I think that would make his whole behavior at the beginning of this movie more acceptable, to see that, like, you know, it wasn't like he, you know, because he could have been just a broody nerd before.
I mean, as someone who's not familiar with the character, like, I got it immediately. It's like he's half human, half robot. It sucks.
Yeah.
And then he kind of elaborates. So, like, as someone who just went in blind, it wasn't hard to accept this tortured person right off the bat.
But yeah, I'd like to see the contrast. To see how upbeat he was beforehand.
You're absolutely right.
And yeah, it's like it wouldn't have been hard for this movie to just give us a little bit of that. You know,
we had to get Russian family in there.
Yeah. Okay, that's our last group we'll talk about.
Cyborg's the closest thing to a fully developed character in this movie, and I think he's got the most compelling story. I like, again, he's another character that's not fully in control of himself. Just like everyone's got a spectrum of how much they've mastered their abilities. And, I think all that is done well. And Cyborg's getting more backstory is one of the things I'm most excited about in Zack Snyder's Justice League. All right, Superman,
he's barely in this. He's like,
they bring him back.
Yeah, it's like
pretty silly.
He comes back to life. We have a ridiculous fight scene, which originally I did like, but it's gotten pretty ridiculous.
I like aspects of it. It's not amazing, but there are things I like.
Yeah, like the whole like Pet Cemetery.
I know, right?
You know, and like
references.
Yeah, and it's like Alfred shows up with
Lois
Lane, just like bring him some poontang, that'll calm him down, and they fly away together. Like right after they leave, Steppenwolf shows up and steals the cube.
No, the whole thing. It's like Superman's struggling. Let's fucking surround him. Let's approach him like it's no big deal.
The whole thing for me is like, we need this movie. This movie could end right now, and we really need it to be an extra half an hour longer. And it's like they could have filled that with any amount of like good stuff, but they were like, no, we need to send Superman to a farm.
Oh, that stuff is really bad. But I love like when everybody does try to attack him. And Flash comes around, and then he like looks at the Flash,
that's the best
and then
part,
Flash is like, "What the fuck? He's as fast as me!" And then he when he throws him at him, and then we see Flash trip again. And then I like that Wonder Woman tries to have a little one-on-one with him, even though she doesn't know him well. It doesn't really make much sense, but it's still a nice thematic moment considering the overall iconography of the characters. Whatever.
And she knows his name, his Kryptonian name, too.
Exactly.
It's like they've known each other for...
I guess she's been doing a lot of research. She's like, I know you well, but you don't know me.
Yeah, that could be true, too. Because, they literally, in terms of Superman, they've known each other for like a 10-minute battle.
Yeah, basically. I thought she was with you. You fucking emailed her, Batman. But, Superman's one of the aspects, even though his CGI mouth looks ridiculous, one of the aspects that gets the most praise, and I can totally see why, because this was the first time where I was like, okay, I get Henry Cavill as Superman now. And I think he does have a few nice moments, but overall it's a little too shitty and cheesy, honestly.
His writing is just not great. And it's like, watch any of the Superman, like, Justice League, anything, like, he's written well, and he's well spoken, and, has these, like, out of nowhere, like, monologues that just, like, make you feel proud to be, like, a human and alive and American.
The weirdest scene is when he's, like, choking Batman. He's like, you won't let me live. You won't let me die. And it's like, what are you talking about?
I know, that's totally Joss Whedon being like, we gotta reference the battle.
Because he's got a fucking full-on CGI mouth on that one, so it definitely is. And then it's like, wait, so you're conscious now? You remember things? What's going on? We see him do ice breath. I thought that was kind of a cool moment.
We get the big ones, laser eyes.
Yeah, but overall, Superman doesn't hold up as much in this at all, even if his mouth was normal. The best part is when he races the Flash.
Yeah, the very end of the movie.
And so, Steppenwolf.
Like I said, he's kind of rapey. I don't really like his design.
Yeah, they're gonna change it for the Snyder Cut. Okay. And see, in this one, he's like a weird gray alien man with a helmet.
And like weird bone.
Yeah, in
goatee.
in the Snyder Cut version, he's gonna be a creature with a shape like that. We even got a tease of him in Batman vs Superman. Even the actor who plays him really hates Steppenwolf, and he's like, "That's not the movie I made. It's bullshit." It's undisputably one of the weakest aspects of it. Overall, just I don't know. I would say the best moments for me is the flashback to the massive battle. No matter, it's awkwardly edited and shoved in, but it's fucking badass. And I can't wait to see the full original color grading version of it.
Yeah, I think that, and we talked about how that could possibly be like a prologue.
Yeah, and a prologue to the beginning of the movie, yeah. Wonder Woman's fight sequence at the museum. You could tell there's a lot missing. It's a little nonsensical, but it's fantastic. And the Themyscira chase, you mentioned that. Excellent scene.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
The scene when Wonder Woman jumps down and the sword is there, and Flash zips around. That's got to be a Zack Snyder one. It's
yeah, because that scene where they're like in that tower, that's in the trailer.
Yeah,
so it's like a lot of that was like planned by Snyder at least.
And when he loops around and then he just like pushes the sword her direction a little, like that shot is like straight out of a comic book. It's really good. Yeah, those are the big positives I got. Other than that, it's pretty goofy. Oh, Commissioner Gordon. What do you think of J. Jonah Jameson as Commissioner Gordon?
I think that he doesn't really care about Gotham too much. He doesn't care about Batman. He just wants people to get him more damn pictures of Spider-Man.
I think it's really distracting.
It is.
I normally don't think that. And, there's been plenty of times where DC actors are in Marvel movies, but just like, he's too iconic as J. Jonah Jameson. It's, I don't know. And Gary Oldman is the last one we knew, and it's like, Gary Oldman's better.
Oh, yeah.
So, you want to talk about how horrible the Russian family is?
Yeah, Russian family. Okay, so why do they keep cutting to this Russian family?
So we can see them save people. No, yeah, it's
like literally like this. They take over for some reason. He has to take over power plants. And so he goes to power plants and he takes them over, and this is like a nuclear facility in Russia, and it's just like it's a city, like there are people there, like lots of people, but this is the only family that we get a highlight of. They don't speak at all. They don't have
it's
names.
Easier, you don't have to write dialogue.
I mean, like, and
because that's a Joss Whedon thing, so it's like, yeah, he cut corners. It's like,
and yeah, it's just like, why are they, like these people don't like this whole area could be completely wiped out.
I'll tell you exactly why. It's because like this movie, the reason the producers meddled with it so much is because of the frequent criticisms of Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Suicide Squad to some extent. Which one of the big one is we don't see them save people enough. And basically almost every choice in this movie, like the other movies, people said they're too long, so they made this one 2 hours. People said the other ones are too grim, so they made this one funny as shit and a lot happier. People said it was too dark, so they put in a lot more colors and turned the dark blue color graded scenes into just like a bright, like blown out red. And yeah, I think that whole thread was put in there just so we could see Flash and the Superman save some people. Because that was a criticism of the early films. Like, this whole movie was just damage control, trying to give the audience what they thought they wanted for the previous films. The only problem is most of the people who make those complaints don't give a fuck about Justice League anyways. And the people who liked it, and they should have listened to them. But yeah, that's... Long story short, that's why they're there.
Because it's just pointless, wasted. Could have had something come of it. Some sort of like interaction besides hold on.
Pushing their truck.
Yeah, and so yeah.
Another thing that's going to be different in the Snyder Cut is the music. Junkie XL did the music for it originally. He scored Batman vs Superman, and he has worked with Hans Zimmer. And this movie was scored by the great Danny Elfman, who phones it in for the most part, but still does a really good job. You know who Danny Elfman is. Does all the Tim Burton stuff, the Simpsons theme song.
Oh, okay.
He did the original Batman films, and he laces that theme throughout the movie. That's not exactly how it goes, but we'll play it when I do that. Yeah, he didn't bother to think up a new theme. But, so yeah, that's going to be replaced. It's just, we're going to deal with a whole different beast. And
yeah, I'm excited for it too.
Really excited, yeah.
Yeah, this movie just, even like this watch through, like I said, it felt much older than than it was. Like most of the CG looked pretty good, but like the crystals at the very end, I commented, were like they looked really bad.
I think it's an objectively bad movie, but it's just fuck it.
Yeah, it's like I enjoy watching it. Yeah. Like no shame.
I can't explain it. I think I just love the characters.
Yeah,
and it's like this is what we got. It's like just like in the late 90s and early 2000s when we used to watch superhero movies. That's why we enjoyed them. It's because that's all we had.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll take a look in another year. We'll watch this movie again, maybe for the last time.
On the channel, I mean, yeah, definitely. I don't think we're going to review it again.
Well, no, but I'm saying after the Snyder Cut happens, if it's fucking blows this one out of the water, are you ever going to go back and watch this one?
Probably.
I mean, Darkseid's not even in it.
You know, like, show the next generation, you know, like... Kids, this is what you don't do with the movie, and this is how you make that one better.
Dude, in like 30 years, there's people like, I want the original Joss Whedon cut of Justice League.
This is some bullshit.
They haven't printed it in 30 years. The Blu-rays are $100 on eBay.
We need an 8K Super UHD transfer of the original Joss Whedon. But yeah, if that's even a thing, then. But yeah, anyways, that's about all I got to say about this one. You got anything else?
So I don't know. Concerning DC, we're gonna review Wonder Woman when it gets closer to Wonder Woman 1984, and then
check out our trailer reaction.
Yeah, and then I think leading up to Zack Snyder's Justice League, whenever that happens, we're definitely gonna review Batman vs Superman. But Man of Steel,
I'd say comment if you want us to review Man of Steel. Like we'll do it, but
if in a year you want us to review Man of Steel,
yeah, it's like we'll put it on the list. But yeah, I mean, don't add us, Angry Joe.
I'd like to review those just closer to when Snyder Cut happens. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching.
All right, later, guys.